It's November. The loch looks forbidding and cold, and the highest mountain tops are white over with snow. I guess we should have tried to come here earlier in the season, but it wasn't to be. But at least the midges have gone now, and so have most of the people, so we have this wild place all to ourselves. This is a route we've been planning for some time, up Loch Shin and down the Cassley River, making almost a complete circuit. It should be a varied trip, some lake paddling, some carries, some downriver. I've seen Loch Shin from the road a couple of times. It looks good to me, big and remote, but some say it's monotonous. We'll see. In the night you could hear the wind get up and you could hear it start raining, and because it was so cold we thought that, raining down here, it's bound to be snowing on tops, and it was true. In the morning the snow level was considerably lower.
The snow was forecast, and it meant we decided to portage between the hydro stations on the loch and the River Cassley, rather than take our original route up northwest via some smaller lochs and down to the river that way.
He was very full of encouragement, this chap, wasn't he?
A friendly hydro engineer.
Yeah, he said the road's completely snowed over, it's really slippy, you've got a long way to walk, and I don't think there's enough water in the river.
Yeah, but he was pleasant, the way he
pleasant
said
with
it.
That's
yeah.
Right, yes. Yeah, we didn't take offence, did we? Some electricity men would have offered you a lift, I think.
Yeah. It was a decent bit of trolleying, wasn't it?
It was alright.
Up that track.
Harder than carrying, but never mind.
Nice to see a bit of the white stuff.
Refreshing, wasn't it, on a cold November day?
Yes. I'm looking at a tyre deflating, with no hope of fixing it because there's swines to get off the rims. But luckily we'd nearly gone as far as we needed to with the trolley.
About another mile, wasn't it? But that means we just picked it up and...
We used our favoured method of transporting a canoe.
The way it's meant to be done. But he was right about one thing, the electricity man. There wasn't a vast amount of water.
Because it had all gone down to the loch to power the hydro station. So we're into the river.
We did 4 miles that day. Got to know every rock personally, I think, in the river. Rocky. I ought to have kept a tally of how many times I fell over. Very slippy, just like Leoicle, which I suppose is not surprising. It's just over the hill, but really slippy rocks, and a lot of them were sloping at 45 degrees, and your feet went from under you.
The best thing is to keep a good hold of the canoe with both hands if possible, and use that for stability.
Looks like the sun's setting as well.
Maybe we should look for a campsite.
These 9-hour days are
A
quite
bit
demanding.
tight.
Yeah. Oh, this was our island for the night. I got this thing about islands.
It was okay.
This is where we found out you could do flag dancing.
Yes. It's a desperate attempt to try the
You could tour the northern clubs with this one.
tent. Yeah. Could go on the Forces network. It was cool.
That was the morning we got up and the tents were very wet, and then during breakfast they froze. But it was a lovely start. There's definitely more water in the river now.
Nice falls.
It's quite apt, so right next to the falls is a graveyard, so you made you feel real, that sort of comforting feeling, wasn't it? So that was about it. As we swung out into the Oikel, it was only a few more miles paddling to the road back up to Loch Shin. The walk back from there would be about 8 miles, and we wouldn't get back until well after dark. It had been an interesting but quite tough trip of about 40 miles, and as it turned out, Loch Shin wasn't at all monotonous, but impressive in its size and remoteness. And the hydroman had been wrong. There was enough water to come down the Cassley. The scenery alone made the trip worthwhile, and the river was one of those that keeps throwing new challenges at you to keep you thinking about how best to make progress, and that's the way we like them.
It's a wrap. It was a good trip.
Getting close to the road and pull in.
We knew we'd have a bit of a walk back to the car, but it's good to...
I suppose we were going to trolley it, weren't we, originally, but...
what with the trolley breaking, we
weren't going to carry it.
Just walk back for the car.
So we just cached the stuff in the woods and walked back. The only thing I didn't like about the walk back was, nearly killed me in fact, was having to pass the fish and chip shop without going in.
I was okay with that.